I know you try to eat healthy, but why do sugar cravings keep winning? Sometimes that happens, doesn't it? But because like there are a few reasons why, but ever feel like you're doing well and then all of a sudden that sugar craving just hits you like a ton of bricks, doesn't it? And it really is a really common problem, but it's not really willpower. There are other things at play around this, all right? Whether you're menopausal or not, there are some other things at play. So basically, your hormones make your sugar cravings worse. So with fluctuations, like females moving into a menopausal kind of state, but fluctuations of the estrogen and cortisol increase the cravings, especially around like sweet and salty foods. I remember when I was younger, I always have a sweet and salty craving around that time. But also stress as well too. So, that increases the cortisol, and hello chocolate. that's what happens, and it's almost like, just this craving towards these sweet and salty things. You're either a sweet person or a salty person or both. And I used to have both. But so really it's your hormones and, just trying to keep that blood sugar down as well too. But the second one is really blood sugar. So blood sugar is everything, because if you've got unstable blood sugar level, that's when the cravings hit, when you're heading down, right? So that's why, you've got to eat in a certain way where it doesn't spike your blood sugar level too much. Because if you're, I don't know, say snacking on fruit or snacking on like chocolate or whatever, that's going to just increase your blood sugar up and down, up and down. It's always on the way down that you're going to be starting to crave those chocolate foods, like sweet foods and savory foods. So, but what you've got to do pretty much is really just got to have enough protein, fiber, and healthy fats together if you can, and that regulates the blood sugar, but also stops that 3 p.m. slump. Like, people go with get that around about that 3 p.m., which is about now. 3 p.m. If you haven't had enough protein, or if you've had a really sweet breakfast, or high carbohydrate. The worst thing is actually a high carbohydrate breakfast, like, I don't know, cornflakes and milk, for instance, or something like that, where you're going to increase your blood sugar, and then it's right at the start of the day, and then you're just on a downward spiral for the rest of the day. You really want to have like a savory breakfast of some sort. Something with lots of protein, fiber, and healthy fats in it, because that's going to keep your blood sugar nice and even, Steven. So, but really, the fourth one is just filling the gaps with some food-based supplements as well too. So, like if sometimes you can be low on magnesium, that's why we crave chocolate, right? Because it's, dark chocolate, because it's got magnesium in it. So if you're not filling the gaps with some sort of food-based supplements, you're going to make those cravings worse. So it's ideally you want to eat real food, but you want to kind of supplement with these really good quality, food-based supplements that have got all these vitamins and minerals in it that your body needs. Because if you're missing one, you can also crave as well too. But really, it's about the small daily habits that make a really big difference. There's not a lot more that we have to do. It's just that we have to just sort of continually eat protein, during the day, have a savory breakfast if you can, hydrate. The simple things of just hydrating throughout the day is going to help you as well, because, when you're hydrated, you're less likely to snack. And obviously invest in some good food-based supplements as well to fill the gaps, so you're covering all your vitamins, minerals, and all that sort of thing. And there's another thing, I think a lot of people struggle with, and that is, when you sit down at the end of the day in front of a telly, you can fall into bad habits, and you can eat the house down if you're not doing all these things during the day. So it is really sort of a habit that you can get into, that you'll have a bit of sweetness after a cup of tea, or there's always some habits that you might need to look at and reflect on that you can change to help that sort of thing as well, because really it's just awareness of when you're having these things as well, so things you can break, like at night, if you're sitting down maybe go to bed early. That's what I do sometimes. I just go to bed early so I'm not craving any food. So then you can have a really good night's sleep, because then sleep affects it too, keeping off your phone at night as well too. So there's all these little things, small little things you can do throughout the day that are going to help you with your blood sugar level, and then less likely to crave. But great catching up with you guys, and I will see you next week.